Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to our series on al-Ghazali's revival of the religious sciences. In this episode, we will discuss the first quarter of the revival known as Ruba al-Ibadah, which is majorly centered around the acts of worship in Islam. It explores the significance of these rituals, their legal and spiritual dimensions, and how they contribute to spiritual growth and connection with the divine. After starting with the book of knowledge, which introduces the revival and the foundation of the doctrines which outlines the essential beliefs, the very next part of this quarter focuses on the rituals. Imam al-Ghazali's discussion of this ritual is largely legalistic, just after the guidance found in the manual of the Islamic law, which may be termed as furu' al-fiqh. He emphasizes in the revival that obeying the law and performing rituals correctly are crucial foundation for understanding the afterlife. The detailed guidelines for rituals that al-Ghazali provides are just as important for leading us religious life correctly as the virtue ethics discussed in the second half of this work as well. Even though the second half focuses more directly on how to attain happiness or felicity in the afterlife, the ritual duties remain crucial at every stage of the spiritual progress. Imam al-Ghazali strongly emphasizes this point in the revival and in the later works, where he criticizes the Ibahiyya, a group who declare ritual obligation superfluous for various reasons, of course. Imam al-Ghazali's approach to detailing the ritual in his work serves multiple purposes. And one of these purposes is to equip his reader with the necessary knowledge to perform these rituals accurately without burdening them with excessive information. He argues against the tendency of some religious scholar to focus extensively on intricate legal minutiae. He suggests that such preoccupation of majorly stem from a desire to advance their worldly career rather than a genuine commitment to a spiritual understanding. And in the book of Mysteries of Worship, Imam al-Ghazali makes a distinction between the readers who are the legal experts, such as muftis or jurisconsult, and those who are not. For the first group, or the legal expert, jurisconsult, he refers them to his other legal works for more extensive discussions on the details of the ritual prayer. However, he emphasizes that such detailed discussion are mainly relevant to legal specialists and may not be necessary for the general devotees. Al-Ghazali's concern, as expressed in the condemnation of the delusion, the 10th book of the third quarter of his work, is that law, along with all religious sciences, can sometime become an end in itself for its practitioners. Instead, he believes it should be viewed as one element among many of the path to achieving the happiness in the afterlife. However, this doesn't mean that al-Ghazali simplifies his discussion of ritual acts as bare minimum. For example, he includes sections like closing part of the book of the Mysteries of the Purity, which discusses 10 things not to be done with one's beard. Despite his detailed descriptions of correct ritual performances, Imam al-Ghazali also includes passages that suggest a more flexible approach. He mentions, for example, the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wiping their hands on the arcs of their feet after eating instead of washing them meticulously, and praying without rug. These examples illustrate a less rigid stance on certain practices. Imam al-Ghazali also takes a more lenient Maliki approach rather than stricter Hanafi stance regarding the determination of whether water is pure for use in ablution or wudu. Moreover, along with the detailing the universally accepted practice of the religion, the book of the first quarter also serves to illustrate how these practices extend beyond their external manifestation to the cultivation of the inner virtue. And this theme was further explored in the second half of the book. While Imam al-Ghazali initially states his intention to focus on external matters in the first half of the revival, he nevertheless connects ritual acts to ethical principles. For example, while ritual purification involves physical cleansing before prayer, al-Ghazali argues that true purification cannot be achieved without also purifying the heart from vices and ultimately directing it solely towards God. And in this way, al-Ghazali asserts that these external actions serve as a symbol or point us toward the necessity of cultivating the internal state of virtue. By entwining ethical vision with the foundational ritual elements of the faith, he presents a cohesive worldview wherein the external practices and internal virtues are inseparable. This integration invites readers to weave these elements as interconnected aspects of a unified spiritual path. And it further reinforces al-Ghazali's overarching vision of the importance of both external rituals and internal moral development in the pursuit of the religious enlightenment. In al-Ghazali's work, the chapter connecting or concerning ritual purity and the essential pillars of Islam delve into what he terms the mysteries, asrar of these subjects. He highlights them as typically overlooked in the legal text. And specifically in the mystery of worship section, al-Ghazali addresses not only the external observance of the rituals, but also their deeper and more profound aspects. For example, when discussing prayers, Imam al-Ghazali asserts that the validity of the prayers depends not only on the physical actions, but also on the inner disposition of the worshipper. He further argues that true illumination of the heart happens when both external action and the inner intention align harmoniously during prayer. And by such means, he highlights the inseparable connection between the outward performance of the ritual and the internal dimension of the spiritual growth, and suggests that both are integral to achieving the enlightenment and closeness, of course, to the divine. And in the second introductory book of the second half of this work, Disciplining the Soul, Tahzib al-Nafs, Imam al-Ghazali goes deeper into the profound purpose behind religious rituals and asserts that their primary function is to influence the heart. He says that doing these rituals right isn't just about doing them correctly, it is also about being sincere and meaning what you do. Al-Ghazali meticulously provides the legal information necessary for ensuring the proper performance of these rituals and highlights their importance in the spiritual journey. However, al-Ghazali extends beyond the legalistic framework to emphasize the rituals should be undertaken with the higher purpose in mind, that of the ethical self-discipline and wholehearted devotion to God. He asserts that the external observance of the ritual should be accompanied by a genuine commitment to moral excellence and spiritual growth. Further, Imam al-Ghazali suggests that the first quarter of this work also serves to orient the readers toward this elevated aim or purpose. He seamlessly integrates discussions on Muslim ritual practice into the broader context of the science of the hereafter, and illustrates their pivotal role in paving the path towards spiritual enlightenment and ultimate felicity or happiness. Imam al-Ghazali's approach shows how ritual changing inside and getting closer to God and connected. He says true religion is more than just doing the things outwardly. It's also about going on a deep inside journey to reach the God. As we conclude our exploration of the first quarter of the revival of the religious sciences, we have explored valuable insights into the importance of the acts of worship in our spiritual journey. In our next episode, we will transition to the second quarter of the revival of the religious sciences as the Ruba' al-Ada, which focuses on the acts of daily life, where we will examine how everyday action can be infused with the mindfulness, ethics, and devotion, enriching our lives and deepening our connection with the Almighty. So please stay engaged for the next installment as we continue our expedition of the self-discovery and spiritual growth with al-Ghazali's timeless teaching. And until then, may peace and blessings be upon you all. Thank you.